right. Welcome, everyone. Let's get this started. Let me find Bibi. Welcome, everyone, to another Asset Management Monday. I see a couple of new faces, I think. Well, I see a lot of new faces, I think. A lot of new faces. Give me 1 second. Let me set this up. Okay. There we go. Bibi, are you matching with the lights in the back? Like, what is going on over there? What is going on with the lights in the background and the you're muted, you're muted.
I did not prepare for this, but here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, welcome everyone to Asset Management Mondays. This is the Multifamily Freedom Chasers platform. If there's anyone that's new here, who are we? Well, the Multifamily Freedom Chasers, we are an online ecosystem. We are gathered to activate and encourage and show 9-to-5ers and non-9-to-5ers how possible it is to achieve financial freedom through apartment investing. And on Mondays, every other Monday, we have the asset management series that's run by Bibi and I. Last time I tried to share my screen, my computer had a seizure. So I might hold off for a little bit, Bibi, if that's okay. Today, we're going to be going over a case study, an actual case study of a deal that our team closed on. And so, you know what? Maybe I should just go ahead and share the screen and let me attempt this. All right. There we go. All right. So today is lessons from a case study on navigating early distributions in asset management. And we are your hosts. Bibi is the COO of Blue Ocean Equity. She's based in Dallas. Her markets are Dallas, DFW, and Pennsylvania. She's a mom. I'm a mom. We're both actively and passively invested in different parts of multifamily. Would love to hear from you guys. I'm rushing through this so that we have enough time for the actual content. Would love to hear from you guys. This is our contact information. Email, reach out to us through social media with any questions that you have. And later on, I do have the QR code for our WhatsApp group. That's another way to reach out to us for those who are not Instagram or Facebook lovers. All right. Ready to jump into this, Bibi?
Yes.
You are? All right. So today we'll be talking about the Morningside Apartments. It's I'll just give you a very, very brief overview based on this slide. Essentially, it's a Class C, 123 units apartment building based in Fort Worth. Why don't you tell us the genesis of this, Bibi? Let me stop sharing. We don't need to stare at this.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Before we start, I want to give us a background to this multifamily, generally multifamily assets. First of all, we know the fundamentals. We know what is going on in the country. We are also aware that the way multifamily was run a few years back is not the same way it is now. The reason why I'm saying this is to give us a background to why we did our underwriting the way we did at the time where we did it. So I've said too many things, right? So in 2022, we realized that the interest rate was going high. Many of us can remember that actually the interest rate was moved 11 times between last year, between 2020, I think 2022 and I think it started in 2022. Yes, so between 2022 to last year, it moved 11 times, which we're all aware. So we decided to do this form of underwriting differently. So this market was actually in between an off market and on market. So let me explain what that means in quotes. It was actually given to a broker to market, but the owner was not satisfied because of their pricing, so he pulled it off market. So I was searching for properties, and this property came up and said listed by the owner. That caught my attention. So we got this property. I immediately I called the owner. I wanted to size him up. I wanted to also know the whisper amount. The whisper amount means the amount that they have up in their head that they want to sell the property. Does not necessarily mean that is what you purchase it for, but it's a guideline. It's a guide to the pricing. So it's important that you ask those questions. What is the pricing on this property, or the whisper amount? So that was the first question I asked, and he said the pricing of this property is 13.950 on this property. So I said, okay, I was going to get back to you. So what were the things we did during the underwriting, or before the underwriting? Was number one, we created a team. So I'm going to break down the team aspect into different parts. It's not just the team as your colleagues or people you want to do the deal with. No, the major team are the property manager, number one, the loan broker, number two, the debt broker, the insurance broker, and if possible, the tax consultant. The reason why I'm putting these people on the highest hierarchy is because the moment you get these things wrong in your underwriting, the operations will be messed up. So anything you are calling asset management might just be down the drain. The reason why so many investor operators succeeded like 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago is because of the way the state of the market. Things were first appreciating, meaning that inflation was going up, interest rate was low. So people could get as low as 3%, 2 point something, 3% on their property. So it made everybody look like champions, or it made everybody look like good operators. But that was not the case. Right now, we are seeing who are the good operators and who are not the good operators based on your underwriting. So the underwriting is the bedrock or the foundation for a successful operations on your property. It's very important that that is sorted out from the beginning. That is why I always encourage any asset manager or a team of asset management people to be actively involved in the underwriting, because it has a lot to do with the projections, has a lot to do with the budget, has a lot to do with the capex. You need to know what the projections of the market will be. So that was that. So the first set of people that you have to get, they are like I said, the property manager, the debt broker, and the insurance, and if possibly tax consultant. So going back to why I'm saying these are the most important at the beginning, especially team members you should have, is because the property manager, especially if it's local, he knows the market. Typically, a property manager does a market survey, sometimes quarterly, sometimes twice in a year, sometimes once a year. So they are really, really informed about how the market is performing. So they are the ones that can give you guidance on your projections. I know some of you are using CoStar, using Yardi and Co and Co. Some of you are using that. No, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem with that is that they do not regularly update. It's not real time. So the information we've tried it on several of our deals. The information we get to see are many months back or years back, not been updated. So that will not give you the true state of how the market is currently performing. For example, one of our properties, Maverick, it told us the market was declining, but real life, the market was one of the fastest growing county, fastest growing county in PA. So you need to, that's why it's important for you to have an effective, not just a property manager, an effective property manager. So those ones played a role in our projections. So the next one is the loan broker. The reason why I'm not calling lender, you can see I'm very particular of not mentioning the word lender, because lender limits you to maybe one or two. And again, it's stressful because you keep sending your information to different people. But when you have a loan broker, you are interfacing with one person that will do your packaging well. As in, when I mean your packaging, there's something they call due diligence of the sponsors and a business plan. He's going to arrange those things and present it to the lender. And it's not just one lender, several lenders, and get quotes around different lenders and tell you, okay, this is what I have and this is this. So in that way, it limits the time that you'll be using to go to different lenders. That's one. Secondly, the stress of going through different lenders is you don't want to do that. And recently we went through different lenders to take up a secondary loan. And if he's here to bear witness, our account was compromised because we were supposed to, we're just giving out our information to different lenders, and for some reason our account was compromised, and to date we've lost the account. It's not operational. So using a broker can limit the stress. So that's one. Then the second one is the insurance. For markets like Florida, Texas, we know how insurance is going up. So it's important that you get that insurance quote early, a soft quote early enough in your underwriting. In that way, sometimes it might not be that accurate. It might be some $1,000 apart or lower than the estimate, but at least you're around the ballpark. So that gives you a guideline. It's important for you to work with an insurance broker, especially if you're in those states that have insurance issues. I call them insurance issues. So for us on this deal, Morningside, we got a loan broker that gave us Freddie Mac, and it's an agency loan on this deal for 5.9% initially. We were going through the process of so before then he gave us the soft codes. That's what we used to do underwriting. So we used those soft codes for underwriting. The next one was the property manager. We use the property manager for our due diligence. There's nothing wrong with you doing your due diligence with your team members, but I like to put the stress on them. Besides, they're the ones managing the property. And it's good that they get conversant with it and start knowing, they start knowing how to operate the property. And not just that, they can also help you create a plan. So what we did on this deal was we got a property management company that started from the beginning with us. We went through because this deal was actually it's something I would not advise you to do, but we had to do it. The thing was we had to go $10,000 hard on day one. So that was how we got this deal. We had to go hard with some percentage of the money. The NS money was 120,000. So 10,000 was going to go hard on day one, according to our LOI. So, but when it got to there's some other partners I forgot to mention, your transactional lawyer and your SEC, if you are doing syndication. Those are very important partners you need to have. So our transactional lawyer took our LOI and went through it and said, Bibi, I'm going to protect you guys. I'm not going to allow you go hard on your day one on 10,000. So he removed it. So when he removed it, we took it back to the seller, and the seller said, no way, that's not happening. I need it back. So we had to start a different form of negotiation. I said, okay, fine. We're going to give you the 10,000, but we'll not go hard on day one. Want to go hard on day four. And let me tell you why I said day four was because we wanted to go and start our preliminary due diligence. What were the things we were supposed to do? We did not want to go hard with 10,000 without knowing anything. So we asked for the due diligence items before we signed the PSA, one. We also asked for access to the property for 4 days before we signed the PSA. So the owner agreed to it. And what did we do? 4 days is not enough for you to do a proper due diligence, but 4 days is enough for you to do the heavy lifting due diligence. When I mean the heavy lifting due diligence, I mean the roof. If you get the roof wrong, let's say the roof is bad, that can cost you a lot of money to replace.
Significant capex.
Yeah, significant one. So our property manager brought a third party vendor. We brought the electrical company that checked the wiring of the property as well as the box. We also brought a plumbing company that used the camera to check all the sewage system. So Bibi does not play. So we got, I think my face is so bright. Jeez, I think it's my light.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, okay. So we brought a plumbing company that did an inspection on all the plumbing lines and also was able to identify that it was not cast iron, it was PVC. Then also our electrical guy was also able to identify that our wiring was copper and not aluminum. So for those of you that are new, when you have an aluminum wiring,
Wiring.
it will cost you a lot with the insurance company because it's because of hazard, fire, and all that. So it's going to cost you a lot. So it's important that when you're doing your due diligence or while you're doing your underwriting, you're asking your broker, what is the wiring? What is the plumbing? Those things are very, very important at the beginning. And if it's aluminum, you can also ask them if it's been remendated. Remendated means that it's been sort of from the tip of it, it's been switched to copper, but it's not copper, but it's been remendated. So that is also acceptable for the insurance company. If you do not ask those questions, you find out that your money has gone hard and it's aluminum, then you might be in trouble. Meaning that you spend so much in your insurance, and that is what you want to avoid. So these were the things we did in those 4 days to ensure that if you please let me know when. I'm not sure we can finish this thing in 1 day, but let me know because I can keep talking from now to tomorrow.
Okay.
You know that. Okay. So when is so these are things, so these were the things we did because these were the major items we needed to cross to check out during that 4 days. Yeah, if I'm yeah. These were the things we needed to check out during the 4 days before our money went hard. So now our money went hard after 4 days. So what did we do next? Not hard money. Your money going hard means that it's non-refundable. Means that 10,000 you put to the escrow company goes to the seller. You're not getting it back, even if you decide to walk out. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. So the next thing we did was to align our buying strategies with our underwriting and fundamentals. What does that mean? So doing our underwriting, the preliminary underwriting, we did an estimated and capex because you really don't know what the issues are on the property, because when you're going to tour a property doing your underwriting, because after you do your underwriting, before you put in an LOI, it's advisable you see the property before you put in an LOI. And why is that important? The reason is because, one, you're not just buying the property, you're buying the environment. We recently put up an LOI on a deal, and the deal was 178 or so units. Every effort to tell the owner to allow us to tour the property was in vain. He didn't want us to tour the property. They actually wanted us, maybe we can drive by, but I wanted to use one stone to kill two birds. I wanted to go there, tour the property and tour the area, but he didn't allow. He wanted someone that was very, very willing to do this deal, to put in an LOI. He accepts it, then you allow you come and tour. In the process of touring the property, after he accepted that LOI, the environment was so bad in Dallas. It's a D-class neighborhood, and the property was really fixed. The owner spent a lot of money to fix that property. It's actually a C-class, but a well taken care of C-class in a bad neighborhood. So you have to visit before you even put in an LOI. But my case, I was not given that opportunity and all that. But there was no way I was going to sign a contract. There's no way I was going to sign a PSA without seeing that property. It's not possible. So when you're going to tour, they will allow you to see few units. In short, the best of the best. They don't allow you see, they don't show you the bad ones. So doing your due diligence, while you're doing your due diligence, after our 4 days has gone up, I'm not asking you to go hard on day one. Please avoid it. This is no more a seller's market. This is not a buyer's market. Avoid going hard on day one. We did that for a purpose, and we didn't do it in a risky way. We did it in a way that we're comfortable with, because we ensure that every major aspect of that property was good before doing that. Yeah, so let me continue. So we toured the property after the 4 days. We went round all the unit. It's important that you go around all the units, because all units are not the same. You have some people that will take care of your unit, you have some people that will run it down. So in that way, we're able to estimate our capex, our interior capex expenses and our exterior capex expenses. So it was done, and we noticed that some of the properties had little repairs and some had some major repairs, because most of those units, we had tenants that had stayed in that property for more than 5 years, some more than 30 years. So you could imagine, we went to the oldest person's house. You could tell that this one has been here since forever, because she still had the old carpet. Everything was old in her house and all that. So we did all that during the due diligence. After that, we also took out we gave the seller, before that time, we gave the seller some due diligence items. I know I've not discussed that in our previous meeting, but we have some due diligence items that you need to provide to the seller or during your PSA. Those items are there that you request from the seller. So we asked for things, I'm going to just summarize them. We asked for things like their recent rent roll. We asked for their recent T12 and T1, the previous month's T1. We asked for the bank statement, because people we've seen this happen in real life.
Fabricate.
They can fabricate income statements. So be careful. So we've seen that happen so many times. So why we ask for the bank statement is for us to measure apples to apples. If you are really getting this on paper, let's say it's happened in your account, and sometimes we see discrepancies, sometimes we see just a little, it's understandable and all that, but most times we've seen discrepancies. The money in the account is always, in my opinion, lower than what they put in the paper. Yeah, so that is a way for you to know if you're really, really underwriting, if your projections are really correct.
So
Again,
maybe it sounds like due diligence is not a single
no,
process or act. It comes in multiple phases. And
yes,
and sorry to take you back, but
no, no,
I
no,
underscore something, which is the team, having a team prior to getting a deal. How
oh,
that is super important, because I see a lot of posts. I'm not saying here, in
mhm.
FFC, but I see a lot of posts in general where people have found the deal and now they're trying to put the team together. And
Yeah, I was going to get to that, because
oh,
we did all these things before the team. Remember?
yep.
Yeah. So this is not a standard way for you to do it. You have to create the team before. But this Morningside Day was all these things I mentioned were done before the team.
Oh no, I'm referring to so I know we have the internal team, the external team. I'm referring to having your debt broker in place, having the
Oh,
property
yes.
manager. You had all of those people and contacts already in
Yes.
place. You didn't go
Mhm.
out looking for a
No.
deal, then you got a deal, then you started looking for Clark, and you started looking for this person and that person. So um there are two teams. There's the actual team that you'll close the deal with,
Mhm.
your general partners or your JV
Correct.
partners. But then you have the external team, your property manager. That is not the time when you're trying to submit an LOI. That's not the time to start interviewing a property management company.
I actually created that relationship a year plus before that time, or more
Yeah.
before that time. So there was a relationship. It's not that I was asking them, give me a soft quote now. They are busy people. Sometimes they will not even listen to you. But I created that relationship a long time, so that when the rainy day comes, they will show. They if he's going to tell us about the next guest coming, is one of the team members I created, and he's going to come and you hear things firsthand from him. But if he will tell us more about it at the end, those people are very core to your success. You need to start creating them now. So those of you that are asking, what do I need to be doing now? I don't have a deal. I'm still learning and all that. Go find your team members, those ones. Then after that, you're supposed to find your team members, the ones you're supposed to, your KPs, your capital raisers, those people that are supposed to be in the deal with you. You're supposed to find them as well at the beginning. But we didn't do that. And I'll tell you why. Okay, so we didn't do that, not because the right thing was to do that at the beginning, but for some reason, we had another deal that we were running. So this deal was an accident deal. It was not a deal we intended. I was playing around with it. It was not a deal I was serious with. But it happened to be serious, and we're like, oh my God, are we going to take the team that I've created and come and do this deal? As at that time, that team did not have that capacity to handle 2 deals, so it was not visible. So, but I decided to still go ahead. And why doing all this due diligence to start creating a new team? Please don't do it that way. Create your team ahead of time. It's very, very stressful. It's very, very, in short, you don't want to do that because you have limited time to close your deal. Don't do it that way. Those were the challenges. At the end, we're going to say the challenges we had. Those were part of the challenges we had. And people took us for granted because they knew that we had few days for our money to go hard. So people actually took us for granted at that point. So please don't do that. Don't be at anybody's mercy. Be the one calling the shot. If we even explain more on that when we get to that, because she handled a lot of the Brooklyn, bringing team members to join us and all that. So that was that. So we did the due diligence. We checked the account. We asked for utility bills so that we are sure that our projection for our utility was correct. And immediately we signed the PSA, we also asked our insurance broker to start firming up on his insurance. The reason why you need to start doing that at that time is so that you know if you are if you're underwriting, whether you need to walk away from the deal, because you still have 30 days to walk away from the deal, and they can get you a confirmed quote during that 30 days of you're doing your due diligence. So immediately I'll call them and say, can you quickly get me a confirmed quote? Now, this is not a soft quote. This is the quote I want to use to close. Go get it. But caveat on that, because your lender is still going to go through the insurance coverage and see if it covers according to what they want. So they might still review it. For us, our lender went and reviewed it and added some general liabilities to it. That increased our insurance slightly. So, but it's good that you start earlier on to tell them to firm up on their amount. Then also the lender also did the same thing. Now we have signed PSA. Go and start firming. I need a good quote now, a quote that is confirmed that we can close with. So my broker went to Freddie. He brought a quote and said Freddie was going to give us for 5.9% for 5 years, step down, perfect quote that suited that was very good for our business plan. So the next thing, so while he was doing that, before even doing that, during the time where we went to the property to do all those preliminary things, we created our business plan. Because now we've seen the interior, we've seen the exterior, we've seen everything we need to do and all that. We now created our business plan. So now you have to decide, before creating your business plan, you need to know, is it value add? Or is just for you to stabilize or reposition? So value add means you are renovating some units and raising rent to increase the value of the property. That is just simply what value add means. Then stabilize property means that the property might not be, maybe the occupancy is low. It doesn't need much improvement. It just needs for you to bring in more tenants in it and all that. So that's stabilized. Then repositioning means you are changing the plan of that property to something else, meaning something like from hotel to residential, or from student housing to residential. Those things are called reposition. You are changing the original plan or purpose of that property to something else. So those things are reposition. So you need to know from the beginning what your business plan is. So for this property, after going through, we realized that this property was really stable. It just needed some TLC, some touch-ups to increase rent. And we also found out that the rent was below market. So those were things we discovered during our due diligence, and we created our business plan from it. What was the business plan? Where we said we're going to exit in the 4th year. We said we're going to start issuing distributions after the 6 months because we wanted to be stable for the next 6 months. We also said that we wanted to ensure that the property gets to its maximum and all that. And we also said we're not going to increase rent that will make the property become unstable. The plan was to continue what the initial owner was doing, which was, it was just maintaining the stability of the property. So our goal was to maintain the stability of the property. That was our business plan. No property is the same. You can have different business plans for your property, but this particular one was stabilized. If you do want to say
Yeah,
something,
yeah, I did. I wanted to talk about how underwriting is not static, right?
correct. Yep.
It's not fixed. You don't go in and I think originally we had this plan of the classic, let's renovate 40%, right? 40% of the units, let's do the classic value add. And then we realized, well, why would we do that? If people are staying there, they like staying there, they don't want to leave there, why would we kick people out just to execute it's not a cookie cutter approach, so why would we do that? And
Yeah.
so we pivoted, not that we wouldn't do that, not that we wouldn't make some units better, and we have done that, we've done unit turns, etc. But underwriting isn't static. You heard when Bibi talked about the fact that going into this, she had underwritten the property as we were doing those early stages of due diligence.
We're moving.
She just kept she kept, I think,
I did more than
did you
20
ever
each.
stop underwriting? That's
No, we were
because
doing the underwriting every time. As we
exactly.
get new information, we go check it.
I
So the
it
underwriting was
was
more than 20. We did many iterations. If you,
yeah.
I'm sure you were tired of me
Oh
because I
Lord.
kept giving her updated one. This is a new one. But the bottom line is, even if you're updating your underwriting, for the deal to be good, for you to say, okay, I'm ready to allow all my money to go hard, it must not be worse than your original intention. Meaning that if your underwriting said you're going to give your investors, let's say 7% and let's say 17% IRR, then maybe during the process of your due diligence, you're finding out that this deal is actually 12% IRR and 4% cash on cash, that you might need to walk away. So, but for us, it was just around itself. Initially it was 19, it became 18, and we know that our investors want from 17% and above. So we're around the ballpark. So it was still something we still wanted to go along with. I'm happy you brought that up because I would have even forgotten that the process of always checking your due diligence, the result of those things you're doing into your underwriting as you go is important, because it's either a make or a mar. Either you go forward or you go backward. So the due diligence is actually there. So if you see our due diligence, our SDA table, we used up all the columns because we were like, this column is for the sellers, is T12 and is rentro. This column is rule of thumb. This column is my thoughts. This column is my property manager's thoughts. This column is a due diligence result. This column is improvement. We kept improving and improving on it. Some people don't do it that way, but sorry, I get to do that so that, because it's a lot of money, 120,000. It's a lot of money to just go down the drain for you not to be sure that you actually want that money to go hard, So I had to do that during that time. And after, even when we close, even now we are still doing it, we are still doing it, checking if we are right on track on what we said we're going to give to our investors. So if you thank you for reminding me about that, I wouldn't have even remembered. So after the due diligence, I'm going to wrap up. After the due diligence, Doing the due diligence, we didn't have a team, which was wrong. We didn't have a team. We started creating a team, and we had people were interviewing, and because they knew that our money was going hard in 2 weeks. Oh my God, they wanted a ham and a leg, you know. In short, they wanted 50% of the deal, 40% of the deal, you know, wanted, you know, we've seen crazy things happen. So you don't want to be at the mercy of people and all that. Create your team earlier or know that they fit your goal. And if
You
it's a
align
marriage,
with them.
it's a marriage. If you
Yeah.
cannot, if you know you cannot, you know, there's a part for dating. Yeah. So you need to start dating your team members now. Start having that conversation. Myself and Ify, we dated, meaning that we jumped on a Zoom call, we talked, we started talking on the phone, we chat outside multifamily, we talk family, we talk different things. In short, we gossip, we do all sorts of things. It has gone beyond to tell you that we can work together for as long as we want to because that relationship is there. You know, you need to treat your partners like that and
Yeah.
all that. So because of the rush, we created a team that not all of them were pleased with and some we really loved. So it was the mistake of not, yes, we gossip. So it was a mistake of not doing the thing on time. And it was due to because we had another deal. There was no way we could have moved the team we've created to come into this. But for you, create it on time and you move on. So we created it and the next thing we did was we had, if you can you show me the next slide?
Sure.
So
So we're at this point, we've done the business plan, and
yeah,
so we're in the implementation and stabilization period.
exactly. So the implementation stabilization period, after you close the deal, let's not forget, I want to back up a little to tell you one of the importance of a loan broker. In 2 weeks for us to close, Freddie Mac came up with another requirement that we could not meet ever. We're not qualified to meet that requirement. So we decided to pivot to Fannie. Because we had a loan broker, it was easy. He just transferred all the environmental report, the appraiser, everything we've done, it transferred it to the new agency. If we were the ones working directly with the lender, do you know what stress would have cost you to start getting another lender to start the process all over again? Oh my God, you don't want to do that. So for him, and because he did that, we're able to bypass 1 month of not doing anything. So he cut the process short. So we got a new lender, which was Fannie Mae, gave us 5 years at 6.3%, which was higher than the previous one. Yes, it was higher. So that thing kind of changed because the deal was so good. We did our due diligence properly. We could accommodate that kind of change. Remember, we had 5.9% interest rate because we switched lender and the interest rate was rising. We had to because Freddie, we're able to lock our interest rates with Freddie at the beginning. But with Fannie, you don't lock your interest rate until a week or some days to close. So you are not certain of your interest rate. So that's the tricky part of it. So we did not get our loan. In short, it was a day to closing, or that same day of closing, we knew the LTV. So the initial LTV was about 7.2 million. They increased it to 7.4 million because the deal was good. That was the importance of the underwriting and the due diligence. We did our job properly, so that's them manifesting later on. So we closed the deal with the team members. It was not an easy journey closing the deal because investors were on the sideline. Most of them didn't want to invest, and some of them were not particular about C-class property and all that. So that was a challenge for us. It took us a lot of webinars. We conducted different webinars to tell them this is a cash flowing deal, is good. We've underwritten it. I remember a webinar. Oh my God. The investors were on me. They asked a lot of questions. You know, looking at me, you say, what can she do? She really cannot deliver anything and all that. So they kept asking questions upon questions, and it was really stressful. We were able to get most of them to subscribe with us. We closed, we started implement. That's where the job starts. That is why we are here, the asset management aspect of it. So in the process of managing the asset, exactly what Ify said, we realized that we could actually increase the rent without even doing value add. So let me explain to you what that is. For the fact that doing your due diligence, your underwriting, your business plan states, do so unit and increase rent, does not mean that that might actualize. So what our property manager did was to test the water. They increased rent for the ones that the rent was due, like about 10 of them was due. They increased the rent and they accepted it. They're like, okay, this is looking good. It feels like we can actually increase rent without doing anything. They did it again the second time. Oh, yeah. So we now concluded as a team that we're not going to do value add. We'll do it on a case by case basis. If someone is living and the place is actually run down, then we'll do that. But if the place is not run down, we'll now do a makeover and bring in new people and increase the rent. So that saved us almost 300,000. That was the budget for that, 300,000. So we did maybe one or two, few, less than 5, and that was it. And the rest was makeover. So we had surplus reserves and all that. So the next thing is once you close, the lender gives you like a repair to do. So they gave us a list of items, which was very low, 20,000 watts of job that we need to do, and they gave us timing for it. And also in Texas, you have to do an certificate of occupancy. It's a process. The city will come inspect your property and start asking you to do things to get qualified, and before they now issue that. So I think that was what took us bulk of our money. We had to do some things, just few things, and we realized that, oh my God, we have excess cash. The property was we didn't have a single delinquency throughout the month. All through we increased rent, people were paying their money, everything was perfect. We had a lot. We said, yes, we told our investors that we were supposed to give them distributions on the 6th month, but this is the 5th month, and we've done what we need to do. The property is stable, is 99% occupied. Why do we need to hold on to this money? So that's when we decided we need to give out these distributions to the investor. So the summary of this whole thing is, if you do your job at the beginning, the end now becomes easier for you. Then if there is storm along the way, you'll be able to go through them because you've done the job at the beginning. This period where we are in is not a period where you just think property will appreciate, first appreciate. For some investors are there looking for only appreciation, not cash flow. The fundamental for us is a property must cash flow on day one. That is not for everybody. Some people are value add people and they're like, okay, first year we can sacrifice it from cash flow, maybe second year. We don't want to do things that are, I will not advise you to do things based on the future, because look at 2021, look at 2024, you can see the difference. If you were, that's why some operators are bleeding, because they did things based on projections. They didn't think of now. That's why people were taking bridge loans. There's nothing wrong with bridge loans, but you must be strategic about it and be sure that you have that liquidity that will hold it if the raining day comes. I know people that are doing it, but they have strong liquidity to go through the process. And although some of them is coming due, there's nothing that we can do. Some people did not many of us did not see this coming, but it's very important that you're conservative. One thing we normally do in our underwriting is we are very conservative. We are too conservative. We found out that our deal was even more conservative than the norm. So our initial budget for this deal, we had to review it because we were surpassing the budget. I've discussed previously about budget on our previous
Oh, let's see if they remember. So let me ask, who
okay,
creates the budget,
who creates
guys?
the budget?
Who creates the budget? For those who were in, I don't know, was that class number 2? Who creates the budget? Is it
Many of them.
the general partner? Is it your underwriter? Is it the lender? Is it the property management? Who creates the budget?
Okay, so let's not give them jam question or something that's
Give
it's
them
very difficult.
SAT.
So let me based on my experience, I feel it's important that the property manager creates the budget, but
Yeah.
you must ensure that it aligns with your underwriting. So our property manager will create the budget. We have to have a meeting. In that meeting, we are checking our pro forma and the budget to see how it aligns. And remember, if you started working with your property manager at the beginning, you guys would have created your projections similarly. So the variation might just be minute, not something very ridiculous. So creating your budget, some people believe that the asset manager should create a budget and hand it over to the property manager. But I beg to differ on that. The property is like you calling a vendor to repair your fridge and you're giving him the quotation or giving him the list of items he should do. How is that possible? Rather, he will do an analysis of the repairs and hand it over to you. Then at that point, you start negotiating. That is when you start negotiating. No, no, let's do this. No, don't change this, repair this. No, do this, don't do that. So that's you have a time before you sign off on the budget and ensure that your budget aligns with your underwriting. In that way, everybody is on the same level. There will not be any issues and all that. So creating the budget was very important for us. We created it. We surpassed our budget. We had to fine tune it again to get it to the level of. We had to push ourselves forward. Okay, imagine we creating a budget that okay, our income should be $1,000. Our income now became 2,000. So that means you're not measuring apple to apple. It's now doesn't make sense and all that. So we had to fine tune the budget and increase our expectation again to maybe another 2,500. Then it's not making sense. In that way, you're pushing yourself and the budget is now becoming more realistic and all that. Ify.
Yeah. So I forget there was this piece that I wanted to take you back to. Decision making. How did we make decisions?
Oh,
You talked
yes.
about
Yeah,
what we decided
thank
to
you.
do.
Yeah, so as you have a team member, a core team member, not the lender, your team, your KPs, your asset managers, everybody. You guys would definitely you have to meet regularly to discuss basic issues. Remember, you're having meetings with your property manager. Doing the after you close, you have to have a regular meeting. For us, we have our meetings for the first 6 months weekly. Then after the first 6 months, we can now start to fine tune if the property is stable. But if the property is not stable, you keep having that meeting until you get to that point of stability. So during that period, we're having meetings with our property manager. After that, we have a meeting with the team to analyze those things the property manager has said and to create strategies. It was in that form of creating strategies we're measuring our income, we're measuring okay, what are things we should do? We need a tax consultant. We need to start shopping for insurance. The insurance is not cast on stone. For the fact that you've closed with the insurance company does not mean that you cannot shop and change it later. So we actually had to start making those decisions, and that helped us in making this property operate well and give us that kind of distributions that we're looking for. Then I'll switch over to the challenges we faced. Oh my God, we can say right now it's looking all interesting, all good, but there was a lot of challenges that we faced. Number one was the team. Because we were at the mercy of people, the kind of team we created might not have been my choice. If I was to create a team, I'm not sure I would have taken some of the team members. Some were very fantastic. So the team member was one. The second challenge was the lender. We switching from one lender to another kind of reduced our cash on cash, but it did not reduce it below expectation. So that was a challenge that we didn't foresee happening, but it happened. The other challenge was raising capital at that time. That was a time where investors were pencils down. They were not investing. So it was,
There was a bank that went under, right?
yes,
There
there's,
was a bank that went under. There was an asset that got foreclosed on in Texas.
yes.
And so
Oh
Texas was
my
not looking,
God. Oh my
Texas was not
God. Oh,
looking
Ify, thank you for
attractive.
reminding. The period where
Yeah.
we were raising funds, two two operators had foreclosures in Texas. So that caused a lot of stir. We had an equity partner that was supposed to fund this deal. He pulled out. He wasn't doing it. We now had KP partners that would have loved to do KPs on this deal, but they were afraid. So those were the issues we went through. Some of the issues we went through. It's not all bed of roses, guys, but it's worth it. Because right now, I collected my check. I collected $10,000 for just, nothing. And again, we're also giving out in 2 weeks another distributions again.
Yeah.
So it's worth it, but it's not that easy. If going through the entire process, especially the raising funds process, it can be very, very challenging and all that. So I will rest my I'm happy I didn't really talk. Did I talk too long? I'm not sure I did.
No, you did great. I think
Okay.
somebody did have a question. I think we may have addressed it. I don't know if she's really here still, but it had to do with market rents. What were market rents? Something along those
Yeah.
lines.
So doing our due diligence, like we went to pull off Costa. Like I said, Costa is not 100% reliable. But we went further with our property manager. We asked them to do a survey. So they did a market survey to know the market rent. It was with that market survey, that's what we used to do our projections. So your property manager is the key to your success. An effective property manager is the key to your success. One of the keys to your success. So you get them right. You do some jobs, don't get me wrong, but they
Yeah.
will help you they'll take off the stress away from you. But as an asset manager, your role is to monitor them. It's not all hands off. Even as good as they are, if you decide to just let them be, they will lose guard and you start running losses. So that is your role as an asset manager, to always put them on track and always bring the business plan right in front of them, that this is not the goal. During our property management meeting with them, we always remind them when they bring up things, we always negate it. No, we can't do this because we don't have budget for this. Or
Right.
yes, it's not cast on stone. Your budget can be flexible. Your plan can be flexible, but the idea is the goal. But the way to get to the goal the destination to the goal can change. It's just like you saying, I want to get to Texas and I want to fly. I want to take a bike. I want to ride a car. You can decide today, I want to fly. Tomorrow, you say, no, I want to drive down. Does not mean you not get to your destination. You get to your destination, but the timing now becomes the issue. Yes, we did. Yes, we had KPIs. We had KPIs for our for this deal. We created KPIs. We did an episode on KPIs, and in that episode, we were able to tell people that KPIs is not one size fits all. It's not one size fits all. Different properties and their needs. Like, let me use one property compared to this. That property is not a stable property. This one is a stable property. So what were we monitoring in this versus that? For this one, we're monitoring collections. For the other one, we're really, really monitoring occupancy. So for this one, we're monitoring capex, because we did some little value. The other one did not need capex, so there was no need to monitor capex. So it's not all size fits all KPIs. Your business plan will direct you on what you should be monitoring. KPIs are set to help you monitor, to help you measure up, to see if you're actually hitting your goal. So the business plan itself is like it's like it leads you to your vision. So the KPI is like a mission that measures up with your vision to say, okay, I'm in line with what I set out to do. It gives you that measurement that I'm in line with it and all that. So the different KPIs we created for this were we created occupancy on this. We created wanted to compare our to know our delinquencies on a weekly basis. We also wanted to monitor. Let me mention this. We also monitored our repairs,
Work
uh,
orders. Yeah.
work orders, very important because remember we wanted the property to be stable. An angry tenant will leave. So it was important that we make them happy. So tenant retention was very important for us. So work order was paramount to us. Within 24 hours, you have to fix those things. So we had a response time of 24 hours that even if there were major issues, like we had a situation where we had water heater issue that broke down during Christmas, just broke down. There was
Yeah.
no water heater. There was nothing we could do but we had to communicate with them properly and tell them that, please, this is what is going on and all that. Because of that communication, we're able to weather that storm. So your KPIs is very important. That was how we're able to measure how our property was performing. And we're checking it every week and every month. So for the KPIs, we're checking these things I mentioned weekly. Then for the monthly one, we're checking our profit and loss. It was in the profit and loss we realized that the trash overbilled us. They gave us double bill. So because we noticed it during our monthly call, we had to inform them and they gave us a credit on it. So monitoring your KPIs is very important throughout the entire process. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody has.
All right. If you guys have questions that may not have been addressed, this would be the time. I just wanted to put this up for folks who want to connect with us through the WhatsApp platform. That's the QR code. Feel free to, scan it. And I do want to mention something, Vivi, about raising capital, which has nothing necessarily to do with this asset. It's just, across the board. Not everyone moves at the same velocity. And so that's something you have to think about when you have an asset that you're trying to, close on. Some people move their money quickly, some are in an IRA, some don't know what an IRA is, so you have to first educate them about the IRA, then open the account, then move it over there, and then go through the nuances of, um, moving that into the account. Some folks got stuck at the portal, the investor portal, choosing an investor-friendly investor portal. Very crucial. Being somewhat familiar with the investor portal so you can help your investors, also crucial. So all of these things kind of impact the time that funds start rolling in. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you, Ify. Somebody just asked, where can I find the previous recording? We'll be going through the entire series from next month again, and definitely to be a lot better than the previous one. So you can go to YouTube and look for Multifamily Freedom Chasers to check for the previous ones, and still keep attending these meetings.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so we went through a whole curriculum, which again, like Vivi said, is on the Multifamily Freedom Chasers YouTube channel. And so you would find that there. But we're about to hit the reset and do it again. I don't see any questions, so let me tell you guys what's coming up. But before then, we would like to, oh, someone's asking, is this training for
it's for
GP
everyone.
LPs? I think it's for, if you consider yourself an investor. The difference between a GP and an LP is you're both investors, but one of you is active and the other isn't. But I think both should be educated. I think it's highly important for an LP to be educated. You don't have to do the work, but at least you've gotten into contact with or you've observed who a seasoned operator is or is not. You kind of know what to ask or look out for. I think those arming yourself with that kind of information, super important. So
Yeah.
I think this is helpful because as part of the asset management team, we do have investor webinars that we periodically hold. So you can come to those webinars knowing what to either ask or look out for or listen out for.
Yeah,
So
let me chime in on that. It's for
yeah.
everyone, irrespective of if you just want to remain a certified LP.
Mhm.
There's a saying, where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. You can't just throw in your money without understanding the fundamentals of where your money is or where it's operating. That's the beautiful thing about multifamily, is that you have the ability to know how your asset is performing compared to some assets that you don't, like your 401k, your IRA. They're investing with it, but you don't know what they're using it to do. You have no clue, but as an LP, it's important that you educate yourself. And again, it will help you choose the right operator. It's not every operator you should be investing with.
Mhm.
You should be sure that they are savvy enough that when challenges, because challenges will come. When challenges come, you can weather it. They can weather it. So it's good for LPs. In short, I encourage LPs to even attend more. And for GPs, so that for GPs that are upcoming GPs or GPs that for you not to make the mistakes we made. Like now we are telling you, get your team on time.
Mhm.
So if you've not had a team, this is the time for you to run. I need to make a team. I need to form a team.
Yeah.
Join a team now.
Team before the deal.
Yeah.
Team
You
before
need
the
to.
deal.
Yeah.
All right. So Bibi and I are in the Pennsylvania, Texas markets. We are expanding. I know we're peeking into Ohio and some other places that are you know what? If the deal makes sense and it cash flows, we're there.
We're
But
there.
we're not everywhere because we don't have a team everywhere. So we go where we have a team in place first. We target a class B and C. However, if you've listened to our previous recordings, uh, our Pennsylvania product is a class A. So we're agnostic. But if we wanted to put a finger on it, class B and C mostly.
Mhm.
We do JV and syndicate, and you can book a call with us if you'd like to learn more. Now, coming up next week, and by next week, I don't mean next calendar week, because next week we have an activation Zoom. So the next asset management series, we have a debt broker, someone who I've been trying to get, I've been trying to divorce you from this guy, but Bibi's like, no,
No.
no, 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 no. I do not play with my debt broker. And I said, no, but
No.
there's some other people. She's like, no, I don't play with my debt broker. So
No. No, because this guy has come true and true. Is the
he
kind of debt
has,
broker that you need to have.
he really has.
Oh,
At
you're a
this
witness to
point,
that. Yeah.
I have. So at this point, I'm going to issue him an apology, even though he doesn't know what I've been doing in the background. Well, we're going to be learning. So, where does the debt brokers impact and their work and their sphere of influence, where does that intersect with asset management? That's what we're going to be looking at next week. So mastering the art, loan broker strategies for thriving in multifamily asset management. And we'll be sitting down with Clark Finney from Matthews. So would love to see you guys there. Come with your questions. Come hear how he's helped us, what he's done, how he can help you, what kind of questions you should ask a debt broker. When the time, not if, but when the time comes for you to close on your own assets. All righty. Oh my Lord, I think my computer was about to have that seizure again. Hold on. All right, I don't see any other questions in the chat. Oh, thank you, Pavel. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Yeah, so if there are no more questions, I think we can call it a day. Thank you guys so much for
Thank you
coming. We
so
hope to
much.
see you next week. Put some questions in the WhatsApp group. Share with people who haven't come
Oh,
on
somebody
Mondays.
has a question.
Oh, they do? Hold on.
She's raising her hand.
Oh, Cheryl.
Yep.
All right. Let me see if I need to unmute you. Go ahead,
Hi,
Cheryl.
Hi, I am kind of in the dark. I only have my lights on,
Okay.
my relaxation lights. I'm trying. I'm trying to get my winding down energy going. But I want to say thank you. Wow, that was an incredible training. And Bibi, you're my new fan. I'm your new fan. Both
Thank
of you.
you. Thank you.
You're phenomenal. I'm very, very impressed. So I'm going to like to grab, will your info be in the chat? Your contact?
Okay, so you're asking for the contact in the, yeah, sure.
Okay.
I can put your Calendly link in there, Bibi.
Okay.
Will that work for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be phenomenal. Because the negotiation piece is really
Hmm.
wow, that's a skill, huh?
Yeah, we were
That
not going to allow money go hard. Mm-mm. Without
yeah.
fight. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I see that's a new mission now. Um yeah, I've been in some hard lending and it's very very scary, honestly.
Yeah.
I had to go through it on my own property. So um and once those shark loans get you, it, they don't, there's really no breathing room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's no mercy.
Yeah.
No, there's no
um
mistake. Yeah.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for sharing. We hope to see you again.
yes, definitely. I am on the capital raising right now. I am coming across some deals that I'm sharing.
Awesome.
Yeah, so learning in underwriting is kind of the focus right now.
Yes, as a capital raiser, I know you guys are capital raisers. You also need to know the fundamentals of the underwriting. If not for anything, for your investors to know if the numbers even make sense. You just need to know if the projections were done right. It's not in detail, just know something. Very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, because you don't want to bite off more than you can chew and be like a excited, you know, rookie and get yourself in hot water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you so
So
much.
yes, thank you very much. And if anything comes up in the near future, I'll reach out. And will you be on again next Tuesday or Monday? Is this a weekly?
This is
Every other week.
bi-weekly. I know
Mhm.
that there might be a little change to the schedule in terms of dates coming up, but this is every other Monday.
We're having it 11th and 18th for the month of March only. Then for subsequent months, it's going to be every other week. But for this month of March is 11th and on the 18th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can save it on your calendar. 11th and the 18th is, yeah. So on the 11th is when we are having in Clark Finney. And on the 18th, we'll continue. On the 18th, we'll be talking more about aligning your underwriting with your operations. We'll go in details about that.
Oh my goodness, that will be excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, if I um if I ever get a deal, um, I can present it next, in a group. Would that be better, or email it? I usually go to I have one weekly meeting underwriting group, and I'm looking to fill in some March space because my calendar is really sad.
So I would say, Cheryl, make sure you have a team in place first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go and fix
right.
that first.
Find the team
Find a team first
for the deal.
before you start your underwriting. Go get your team.
Find the team.
Very, very important.
All right.
I have a lot of the like workers for a team.
Okay.
And I know I have investors. But it's just a matter of narrowing down which deal I want to grab.
Do you have your
You know?
property manager or you're managing the property yourself?
I am property management savvy.
Okay. Okay, so you are doing it yourself, so that's fine.
All right. We can continue offline, Cheryl. I just want to wrap up the Zoom so that others can gracefully exit. Thank you so much, guys,
Thank
for
you all.
coming.
Thank you all for coming.
We will see you next time.
Hi, Nick. Good to see you. Hi,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Bye.
Aaron,
Thank you.
Aaron, good to see you.
Bye, guys.
Yes, I
Awesome,
missed
yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, we tried to take a break. Hi,
No, it's just-
Bushan.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I'm in a car. Thank you so much. It was
Good
awesome.
to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Celine-
guys just hit. Uh-oh.
This was courtesy Celinda. You remember, Ify? It was a request.
Oh, yes, that's right. This was a Celinda special. I hope she was able to hear most of it.
I believe she did.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be on camera, but
Oh, that's
It's
fine.
fine.
this is my request. So, thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
I'm out.
Bye, Effie.
Bye, Aaron.